The character you play, who's the person you play, Alan Turing, is a guy who's a man whose name I didn't know. I know a lot of people didn't know.
He's known amongst the intelligence community, amongst the sort of gods of the computer world in Silicon Valley. He's known amongst LGBT groups. He has been an icon for many people, a very important person for many people for a while. But what we've hoped to have done with this movie is to basically broaden an audience and an understanding of this extraordinary man who, you know, at a very young age invented computer science and the idea of computing from the earlier ideas that he developed. But, you know, during the war, he put those in practice with the code breakers at Bletchley Park and helped to crack the Enigma code, which brought about, some say, a 2-year early cessation to the Second World War and saving millions of lives. So it became a war hero, and then afterwards, in the 50s, was persecuted once he was found to be a homosexual. He was prosecuted and given the choice between 2 years imprisonment or 2 years chemical castration. This man was utterly wronged by the very government and democracy and lives that he had helped save in secret. His work was in secret, his private life was in secret, the whole of his personality was locked down, and he was already an incredibly fragile, humble, and particular single-minded man. He had a terrible stammer from a very early age. So, you know, this barbaric world that he was in, that he helped, that he gave so much to. I mean, you ask anybody in Silicon Valley, whether it's Bill Gates down, and they will say they still use Turing's mathematics, they still use his programming, they still use his idea of computing. There are algorithms that we use to crack that code that if you feed embarrassing my name into Google will link me with him, or vice versa now. And it's the same algorithms that we use to break down combinations of what this unbreakable code could be. And, you know, so our mission, everybody reading the script, which is, you know, it's very funny. At the first pages, you're drawn into this uncompromising character who just takes you with him, and then slowly you get to learn how he is and why he is the way he is. And then this tragedy unfolds, and it just... Your emotions move from amusement to engagement with this thriller of how we crack him and the code, how we understand this man and get to this point of near victory in the war. And then this tragedy evolves, and it takes your breath away, and you become very angered. And
it is unbelievable. It really is.
Yeah.
Now, you signed a petition, and you've been helping to spearhead a petition that would pardon men who were, and women, I assume, but probably mostly men, who were imprisoned.
Over 40,000 other, but who were imprisoned or died because of this, whose lives were utterly altered, affected, changed, ruined, and thousands, hundreds of thousands others around them, whether they're families or relatives or lovers. And you know, Alan was pardoned by the Queen and the government, but only in the last few years. And while it had to happen as a sort of official nod to what needed to be done, it's way too little, too late, obviously. And what we hope to gain a momentum with is to use his story to highlight that this was not just an isolated incident. This was a blanket policy for anybody who was marked to be homosexual in that era. 2 years imprisonment or 2 years chemical castration with estrogen injections administered weekly. I mean, it's barbaric. And that was the 50s. That was less than 100 years ago.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
To a war hero, no less.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel. Thanks for watching. It means a lot to me. And if you'd like to take our relationship to the next level, click the subscribe button below. I'll wait for you.